What's going on, everybody? Welcome to JMac Investing. My name is Jason. I think we're all live. I think everything's good. Y'all let me know if the audio and everything's coming through okay. We'll do it this way to start with. I wanted to do this a little differently. Okay. Let me switch this view up here. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, y'all let me know. Like I said, let's see. Everything good. Yes. Okay. All right, so I want to do this a little differently because I did not want to make a video and go through the whole editing process. Mr. Pickle says, "What's up?" By the way, everybody's kind of getting a kick out of him. So I'm glad he's being embraced by the investing community, by the SPAC gang. So, but this one was a big deal, and I didn't want to let the opportunity pass us by because today there was this huge sell-off. A lot of SPACs sold off, including this one in particular, which was announced this morning. So if we go big here, so I wanted to kind of take this video and make it kind of like I'm covering the company like I do when I make a video about it. So I'm going to kind of use some of those same kind of steps to cover the company here to give you some insights. So this is really going to be mostly all about Archer Aviation that's going public via a SPAC. The company is Atlas. The SPAC is Atlas Crest Investment Corporation. Ticker symbol on it is ACIC. And so you can see right here. Let me switch this up. Go bigger. So they're coming in at a $3 billion backed blank check deal, and expected to get about a $1.1 billion worth of proceeds coming in. So I've gotten some conflicting information. Well, not conflicting information, but some are like, this is crazy. This technology is too far out. There's no the regulations aren't in place yet. Yada yada yada. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is why like ARK Invest and Kathy Woods are such good investors, because they are looking out ahead into the future of what will be, and they're investing now. And so this is the case. So what these are is they're called VTOLs, but this is an eVTOL because it's an electric vehicle. But you can see a VTOL is a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So that's what VTOL stands for. These are eVTOLs. So you can see right here, eVTOL is electric vertical takeoff and landing. So it's a type of aircraft that uses electric power to hover, take off, and land vertically. Okay, so these are looking to, we're going to get into the slide deck. We're going to look over some of the stuff, and it'll begin to make sense why eVTOLs make sense. Okay, they may not, because it's so foreign to us and like how we think about transportation and how we think about getting around and things like that. Well, the rich already kind of use this. They'll use helicopters. They'll use private jets. They do this, but the eVTOLs are going to make it where it's going to be available for people like you and me to use air transportation especially in inner cities where it's just crowded. Traffic's just too bad. Let's say you want to go to a baseball game or a football game, and in New York City, if I got some family up there, and I've been around there when the Yankees game happens. I mean, all the arteries are gridlocked. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia for 7 years. No one lives in Atlanta, and everyone lives outside of Atlanta. Everyone drives in to work. Well, before pre-COVID, I guess you'd say. So every artery of every street in Atlanta, every highway, every interstate, they're all gridlocked from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Same from, I say, like 3:30 or 4 to 6 at night. You can't move around, right? Well, especially if there's somewhere you're trying to get to during any of those time frames, this is a solution for that, guys. And that's what eVTOLs, that's what they're going to disrupt. Because where Uber's in the same situation as you are. They're in a car in the middle of traffic too. They can't get you there any faster. eVTOLs are going to make it possible so that we can move around faster in cities, in inner cities. So, I hope that I think that might begin to paint the picture of why these are going to be the future. And honestly, before we even get too far into this, I wanted to read you this one thing. So this was an article on. There's a website called evtol.com. Pretty good resource. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm really gonna go. I'm already just gonna go ahead and give you the forewarning. This thing was selling off all day. I was buying all day long. I was buying warrants all day long. I was buying commons all day long. I was selling other stuff to buy more of this. Okay, so it was a real gift today, and it ran up a little bit after hours, right? But this thing is still at a good value. So but we're going to see. I think tomorrow it's going to be a different story. It's not going to be like today. So your window is going to be real short. I just tell you that to get into this thing. Okay. All right. I'm just wanting to read a couple comments here. Everybody just saying what's up. Loaded with warrants. Yep. A lot of Patreons in the house. What's up, my patrons and Discord members? Twan says eVTOL is going to be great. I'm in. Clint says I'm in EHang and ZNTE, which is another one. Yeah, ZNTE is right now they don't have a target yet, but the CEO keeps posting on Instagram of eVTOL. So likely ZNTE is another one to look at. So like I said, I'm going to be investing heavily. I'm going to be moving money around to get into these SPACs as these things go public. There's 3 or 4 real big unicorns. This was one of them. This one was kind of under the radar. Honestly, when we look at the slide deck, you're going to see some things. But this was a really good article. Okay, check this out. I'm trying to make this a little bigger, and then I will make it so you can see it here. This is huge right here. What this article says is huge. Let me show you. I'm going to go full screen on it so you can see it better. Okay. Less than a year after existing stealth, Archer joins the ranks of Joby Aviation and Lilium. Joby and Lilium are the 2 other ones that we're basically looking for to come SPAC as well. So, but you can see, so Archer joins the ranks of Joby and Lilium as the 3rd eVTOL unicorn. Joby and Lilium have been building, testing, and flying numerous aircraft prototypes for at least half a decade with Joby, the only eVTOL company known to have established a certification basis for its aircraft with the FAA. So Archer is the only eVTOL to have established a certification basis for its aircraft with the FAA, first revealing a prototype in 2011. Well, I guess they're saying Joby here. But if we get into the slide deck, check it out. We're going to just jump into the slide deck. I want to show you. They've got a certification guy on the staff. Archer does. I'm sorry. So I want to show you. Check this out. Here's the key investor highlights. If we look them over real quick. This is huge right here. Morgan Stanley estimates that urban air mobility to be up to 1.5 to approximately $3 trillion industry by 2040. This is why, like Kathy Woods and ARC, they bought Blade, which is coming via a SPAC, EXPC. They bought it up. They're going to probably buy this one, I'm pretty sure. And another key here is Archer has $1 billion in orders from United Airlines and options for an additional $500 million of aircraft. So these guys coming right out of the gate with a huge player. United Airlines knows their days are probably numbered, so they want to get into another industry and have some other investments. I mean, they're not numbered. It's just slowing down. The whole airline industry as we knew it before COVID is going to be different afterwards. And then they got another strategic collaboration agreement with Stellantis, the 4th largest automobile manufacturer in the world by volume, with expertise in high volume composites. That's Fiat Chrysler. If I'm not mistaken, I got an article on that one as well. We'll look at. So, let's jump before I get into the team and a lot of what's going on here. I wanted to show you real quick this right here. See this? That's what you need to pay attention to. So designed for certification from day one. So they got Eric Wright is their certification lead. So Archer is certifying in the U.S. with the Federal Aviation Administration. They've already started the FAA certification process in 2020 and approved by the FAA Intake Board. Archer and the FAA are working towards a type certificate in 2024. And Archer's certificate program is led by this guy, Eric Wright, who previously spent 9 years as head of certification for Piper aircraft, and before that worked with the FAA. So right there is what I'm telling you is that, so like I said, a lot of people are kind of afraid to jump into something like this because it's so far out. But as you can see, these guys are setting up with someone in the industry that is their whole role is to get the certifications, work with the FAA. So these guys, not only Archer, it's going to be Joby and Lilium as well. They're already working towards this to get this and for them to go public, and these others to about to go public. There's going to be tons of capital now and tons of people on the board that are going to be not just this company but the others as they come public, where it's going to just all kind of just set up. And and these are electric vehicles. They cut down on carbon emissions. I mean, guys, listen, it's all setting up this whole picture. Rare earth materials. That's why I keep talking. I mean, my video last night was about rare earth materials. You can see the whole setup is it's a layup, guys. This is money. This is money to be made for everybody, for real, for real. Should I drop my PSTH about ACIC? I don't know. I can't give you that kind of advice. This is ACIC. Yes, that is the ticker symbol. Homer says he got in at 1390. Let's see. This industry will be huge. I bet other players in the sector will SPAC soon as well. Yep. I kind of just went over those. What private companies? Joby and Lilium are big ones right now to be looking for. I appreciate that. Matt says he likes this chat. Doesn't spam like others. Yeah. I mean, there's only 157 people in here. I don't do a lot of live streams. I used to do them all the time, but I got burnt out doing live streams, so I don't do them all the time anymore. Yeah, that's for sure. You can see right here. We'll close this, and right here, this article. If I go a little bigger, so you can see. I tweeted this out. It says Archer Aviation gets a $1 billion order from United Airlines on the same day that announces a deal to go public. That's what I'm saying. On a typical day with a disruptive company like this going public, some of these other real like whack SPACs, whack companies that have been announced have ran up to $17 to $20 of recent. So this one, it was a gift because it was a bloody day. It was people were, taking profits. People were unsure if the market's going to be up or down or stable or left or right. You had the Fed Chair Powell. He was going to be speaking at the end of the day. Turns out he was super soft. He was just like, yo, the balance sheet is going to be kept intact. We're not cutting anything. Rates are staying the same. So it was a fabulous Fed Chair meeting. Everything's intact, right? The bull run is intact. And so this should have ran to $20, guys. So that's why I wanted to get this video out, right? I wanted to get something in YouTube land here because I've been tweeting about it like crazy, but we got different audiences. I got the audience on YouTube who a lot of you don't follow me on Twitter, but you should because I get information a lot faster on Twitter at JMac Investing. And if you want real time, you can join my Patreon. And I got a private Discord, and a lot of these guys in the chat are from my Patreon and Discord. This is where we chop it up and we get it out. I got one of the guys has a connections that have a Bloomberg terminal. So, and these guys are on it, and so they dropped we have a LOI and definitive agreement channel. So when they drop, they drop right there. So we got this one. And, I actually overslept this morning. So when I woke up, I was like, oh, man, I missed it. And I was so upset. And then I'm sitting there watching all day long. The price just kept dropping, dropping, dropping. I kept throwing money at it, throwing money at it. So real excited. But like I said, so here's the other one is so Archer, Fiat, Chrysler Automotive partners to build eVTOL flying taxis. So California-based Archer Aviation announced today it's entering into an agreement with Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, partnering with the automaker to manufacture EV vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, popularly known as flying cars. So the future is here. We're getting flying cars, guys. Let me remove this right here. So yeah, there's a rendering of what it is. But let's look at theirs and their renderings in their investor presentation. They actually go into some people were wondering about this. What their rendering and what their particular model is going to look like, because they just teased it on their website. They had no details on their website of what their eVTOL model was going to look like. They actually go in here on the slide deck to some specifics. Here's that one slide deck that says there's going to be a 1.5 trillion total addressable market. Shared mobility should get about 674 billion. This one kind of goes along the same. It's shared mobility and airlines. And actually, if you go down into the slide deck a little further, you see that they're going to get into cargo as a potential revenue to move stuff around. You know, if they're not moving passengers around, they can move some cargo around the city much faster as well. Can you think about that? You know what I mean? There's a tons of potential use case scenarios for these types of vehicles, not just Uber taxi type of vehicles, military and defense as well, key accelerants. So lots of line items that these can be used for. And again, it goes into those strategic partnerships with United and Stellantis, which is Fiat Chrysler. And I guess they recently merged again with another company. Here's all their engineers, and I wanted to touch on this. This is like the space industry, where in the space industry there's not a lot of competition. There's several, maybe 5 or maybe 10 different companies, rocket companies. We're starting to get a lot of those, like Astra and Momentus, that are coming public. But listen, they all share the same workers, right? These guys can go, like Whisk. Whisk is a eVTOL company. Airbus, we all know what Airbus. Piper was another one, and there's just a bunch of them. So you can see all of these guys all kind of come from the same pool. There's not a lot of workers who work in this industry who create, drones that are capable of carrying people. So, I mean, you look at these guys. I heard someone say this looks like a really expensive engineer group, and I mean, it really does. So it's going to be expensive to get it off the ground, but they got a really good team here. So here you go. So this is what it says. I'll go full screen on that. Let's see. Hold on. A bigger. So there you go. So what they're looking like is it's going to be like $3.30 a mile per seat, affordable cost per passenger mile. So think about that. So you can go 20 miles for $60, $66, or whatever the math. My math might be off there. And then it can go up to 60 miles, 150 miles an hour, and zero emissions, 45 decibels. So it's 100 times quieter than a helicopter. This is some renderings of it here. This looks like a smaller one. You can see, it's low enough where she's just stepping up and she's able to step in. I think they would probably have steps eventually before it goes public. But there's another rendering. That's what it looks like there. So let's get down into it. I wanted to show you. Here's a perfect example. This is what I was trying to talk about earlier. So right now, okay, if you got a personal vehicle, it says Manhattan to JFK. Like if you wanted to go, you're in Manhattan and you want to go to the airport, to JFK Airport, personal vehicle, there's not zero emissions unless you got an EV car, and it's going to take you about 60 minutes. If you take an Uber to the airport, it's going to cost you about $76. And it's going to take you about 70 minutes because you got to wait 10 minutes on an Uber to get there. Here's the Uber pool. You got to wait 17 minutes because you got to pick up a few people. That's going to cost you $59. Okay. And then if like I said, the rich already do this. If you're a rich person, you could take a helicopter, and it's going to cost you $1,775 on average. It says pulled from Blade.com's website. There you go. See, so Blade is competition, but they're not making eVTOLs yet. I think they're going to be eventually as well. So they will become a competitor. That's why ARC is buying Blade. But so there you go. So it'll take them about a total of 22 minutes because you got to drive your car to where the helicopter pad is, 7 minutes flight, 5 minutes of walking time. So they got 22 minutes there. And then it says if you want to take a Archer, then it's going to be zero emissions. It's only going to cost you $50 to go from Manhattan to JFK, 10 minutes to drive to a location where you can jump into a Archer eVTOL, and then 5 minutes walking. 22 minutes for $50. There you go. So that is what it looks like. So that's what I'm saying. So $50, guys. $50 is what it would cost to ride in an eVTOL. I can't wait to do that. I mean, I'm in Charlotte. I hope they get them here. It might not be a big enough city. I know they said they're going to start in like New York and San Francisco, LA. Eventually, they'll come around here to Charlotte area. Oh, man, that's going to be because I know eHang, which is another one in China. They have they use it for just fun, to sightsee and tourism and things like that. And that's another use case they aren't even really talking about here because you could just like a helicopter take it on some trips. I'm sure people are going to utilize that as well. So that's another use case just for tourism and showing off. So stuff like that. But I mean, $50, I'm taking that all day long, right? So, and I think many people are going to do the same. They'll transition. This is another big slide here to look at and to understand. So they talk about rideshare cars, average trip distance. So this is a Uber or Lyft car right here. So average trip is going to be about 25 miles. You're going to go about 25 miles per hour on average. It's going to cost you about $1.50 a mile. Maybe average trip time 60 minutes, and they can do about 10 trips per day. So 60 minutes is the driver having to go find you, pick you up, take you to your place, and then go find someone else. So 10 trips a day, and that's 300. If they work 365 days a year, their revenue for that rideshare car is going to be $136,000. If we look at what Archer is saying that their eVTOLs can do, they're saying if we use the same math of 25-mile average trip, they go 150 miles an hour. It's $3.30 per seat per mile, and average trip time is going to be 12 minutes. Trips per day 25. If it runs 365 days a year, it makes $2.4 million. So what they're trying to do is sell themselves to ride-sharing companies as well with that slide. And then they get into the comparables and they show, see, here's your companies. If you look at Archer, Joby, Whisk, Lilium, Volocopter, and eHang. So Archer, Joby, and Lilium are the only ones with 4-seat vehicles. And Whisk is in New Zealand. They only have 2, but they're the only one. Well, Whisk and eHang are the only autonomous vehicles. The others, Archer, Joby, and Lilium and Volocopter are piloted vehicles. And let's see. So Archer has the 2 partnerships with Chrysler and United. Joby has partnerships with Toyota. Lilium doesn't have any partnerships. Whisk has partnerships with Boeing. Volocopter has partnerships with Daimler. And the only one with a contracted order book is Archer with United Airlines. And there you go. So then it goes over some of that. Here's where it starts. Here you go. So this is what I'm saying. Here's a little bit about the aircraft design here real quick. 12 motors and propellers provide lift for takeoff and landing. This is the information no one had because it wasn't on their website, no specs. This all came out in this slide deck right here. Custom design, high aspect ratio wing generates lift and cruise for efficiency, low noise, high speeds. Okay, I'm not gonna read it all to you. Let me see. But basically, I went over it all because it says it's going to be 100 times quieter than a helicopter, etc. Designed for mass manufacturing. And there's that certification. Here's their battery packs. That look, this vertically integrated battery for maximum performance and safety. They're going to control that and have it in house. So so basically, you don't want to be on the hook up in the air for some third party OEM battery pack that might fail, and the lawsuits will be insane. So they're going to keep them in house, build them in house, the batteries. Let's see if there's any other things that are real. And then they got their own, avionics and flight control software. They got Autopilot for low pilot workload, so they may eventually become autonomous as well. There you go. Here's autonomy. In the future, we expect autonomous aircrafts will allow Archer to realize higher scale and growth. And there's a timeline for that here. All right. So, because, we're coming up on about 30 minutes. I don't want to keep us too long here. They show what they're going to use the funds that they're making from the SPAC. They're going to do $500 million they're going to use for organizational build out and R&D, which this is going to be an expensive R&D project, no doubt. And then 550 of that's going to go into capital investments. And here's what the revenue looks like. They don't even start showing up revenue until 2024 because this is a pre-revenue. This is a concept, but they're really not pre-revenue. They are, but they aren't pre-revenue because they've got that order book with United Airlines for $1 billion, which is really massive when you think about it. Because I don't even know of any orders that big. Maybe Arrival has, I think, an order with UPS. I think is around $2 billion. If I don't know, I can't remember. I remember covering that company in their slide deck, and I think they have a pretty big order, 10,000 trucks or something with UPS. But so this one with the $1 billion order, so they'll be up to in 2025 to have 260 total aircraft in production and $1 billion of revenue in 2025. So, like I said, this one's looking like it's technology, kind of like QuantumScape, where you're going to have to. You're investing in the future, guys. That's what Archer is. It's a future investment. What's the merger date? I got a T-shirt for you for that one, TL. Let's see. Pre-orders, right? So let me see. Hold on. Escape. All right, hold on one second. Let me check y'all out real quick. No revenues for years and years, Mark says. Mark is hating and trolling here. Anybody else not trolling? Let's see. Pat PM says, "Will you fly Mr. Pickles in one of those electric aircraft?" Absolutely. Well, you know what? I gotta ask him. I don't do anything. He's rough around the edges. He bosses me around. So whatever he says goes. That's just how it goes around here. So I don't have a say so. Let me get that off the screen. That's funny though. JMac, what's your Discord name? JMac Investing on YouTube, I believe it is. So, with spaces in between JMac Investing, you can check me out there. I don't know. Marshawn says, "Are you holding this long term?" The way I play these are we just like with Nikola, Hyliion, QuantumScape, which I didn't go real big on. Actually, had a couple shares. I usually buy all these SPACs in my daughter's UTMA account too. Even if some that I don't invest in, I usually buy basically all of them, 2 or 3 shares or 5 shares in her account. And like when QuantumScape, I think I sold QuantumScape at like 80, 90, 100. I was selling them one by one, shares one by one, and her account. She made bank, and so listen. If this thing runs up like crazy, I'll be taking profits the whole way. That's just how. If you haven't learned anything in SPACs, the one thing I'll leave you with, and that you should learn is you need to take profits. There's no way in the world I would ever hold right now. I don't think any. I think a lot of people are thinking CCIV, if it turns, they'd hold that in a long term, and maybe the case. But there's just volatility. There's a lot of volatility. These are like buying like These are like, these are early stage or they're late stage companies that used to not go public. Now they're going public via SPACs. So there's going to be a lot of volatility, right? So on huge spikes, what's the saying? Buy the dips and sell the rips. So I have no idea. I can't answer if I'm going to keep it long term. I probably will wind up walking away like I do with some of the SPACs I really like, with a couple hundred shares. But you can be rest assured I will have already made all my money. I was actually going to make a video because some trolls talk about Hyliion like I'm still bag holding. I made $5,000 on Hyliion. I got some free swag, and I got some good interviews with Mr. Healy, and I'm looking forward to doing more with Mr. Healy. And I got some free shares that I held on to, and so I still made $5,000 on Hyliion at the end of the day. So I was gonna make a video on that, but whatever. It's just one of those things. Let's see. If there's any other questions. Smash the like button. Appreciate that. Mike Penny Dropper says smash the like. You better listen to him. Mike the Penny Dropper. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I appreciate everyone tuning in. And like I said, I don't want to keep this too long because I want people to come back and be able to watch it on YouTube. And if it's an hour-long video, people aren't going to come back and want to watch it. Like I said, I just didn't want to edit a video tonight, but I did want to interact with you guys and drop this thing live. So anyway, at the end of the day, you can see, yes, this is a speculative company, but what I'm saying is if you miss the EV rush, right, and you came way too late to the game, I'm telling you, the eVTOL is going to be another one like that. And why not try to get in right now on some of these that so early stage? Because especially when ARK Invest buys it, if and when they do, I'd put it really high that they're probably going to buy most of these three. All these that do wind up coming via SPAC or public, via an IPO, Archer, Joby, and Lilium, you can rest assured they're looking, because they added eHang, I think, the other day. So here's your opportunity, guys. Like I said, tomorrow morning, if you want to get in, you might have to get in pre-market, because I think word's getting out. There's some videos being dropped about it. So have fun with it, guys. I'm gonna enjoy it. I appreciate all the support. If you, like I said, like Mike said, if you will, on your way out, drop me a like on the video. If you're new around here, I cover SPACs, I cover penny stocks, I cover growth stocks, I cover dividend stocks, I cover whatever's hot in the market. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to find wherever money's being made. I'm seeking it out. So, so consider subscribing to the channel. Consider joining the Patreon, Discord if you want a little closer interaction with some good investors and myself. I'm always active, got it up during the day and chatting with everyone in there. So that's all I got. Till next time, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Till next time, guys. Deuces.